Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm Ryan, and this is my friend Matthew. We're both seniors at Southridge High School, and we're honored to have the opportunity to share our thoughts on a critical issue that affects not only our school, but also communities across the nation.
As students, we've all heard the familiar complaints echoing through the hallways. This is so boring, this is pointless, and why am I here? These sentiments reflect a growing sense of apathy among many young people towards the education system. It's also a sentiment that we have felt to be true at times.
Today, we want to shed light on the high school dropout crisis, a problem that has dramatic consequences for individuals, communities, and our society as a whole. We'll explore the reasons behind this crisis, its impact, and most importantly, what we can do to address it.
In the United States, approximately 1.2 million students drop out of high school every year. This is not just a statistic, it represents lives unfulfilled, potential untapped, and forgotten dreams. The consequences are severe. High school dropouts earn significantly less and are more likely to be unemployed and are at greater risk of incarceration. Did you know that 10% of high school dropouts end up in jail? It's a cycle that perpetuates poverty and limits economic mobility.
So, what are some of the reasons why students are apathetic towards the school system? Based on research done by the National Dropout Prevention Center, the reasons for dropping out are out of these three categories: push, pull, and falling out. The National Dropout Prevention Center explains these factors, saying, a student is pushed out when adverse situations within the school environment lead to consequences, ultimately resulting in dropout. Students can be pulled out when factors inside the student divert them from completing school. Watt and Rosing added a third factor called falling out of school, which occurs when a student does not show significant academic progress in schoolwork and becomes apathetic or even disillusioned with school completion. It is not necessarily an active decision, but rather a side effect of insufficient personal and educational support. Here are some key factors.
Economic hardship. Many students leave school to support their families. This is a very common pull factor that leads to dropouts in U.S. public high schools. The immediate need for income outweighs the long-term benefits of a diploma, leading to students feeling inclined to drop out. Academic challenges. This is a common push factor experienced by certain populations in school. Students who fall behind academically often feel hopeless and see dropping out as their only option. Lack of engagement. Traditional teaching methods and curricula that don't resonate with students' interests can lead to a disengagement. This leads to students falling out of school as a result of disinterest. Lack of engagement. Traditional teaching methods and curricula that don't resonate with students' interests can lead to disengagement. This leads to students falling out of school as a result of disinterest. Surprisingly, this is one I see and hear a lot among my friends and classmates, and something I feel myself. It is difficult in a public high school system to cater to each student's interests and needs, ultimately resulting in students becoming disengaged. Social issues. Bullying, mental health issues, and lack of support can make school a hostile environment for many students. This is another common push factor for students as they will feel unwelcome by the community at school. Social issues could also include pregnancy and family support, which are factors that may pull students out of school.
All of these factors contribute to different students eventually becoming more distanced from school, whether it be by a voluntary or involuntary decision. The issue of high school completion is critical to our growth as individuals and as a society. But it can't stop there. We need to look at the bigger picture of poverty and take a holistic approach. Things like affordable housing, living wages, childcare support, healthcare, and free meals. All of these social policies play a huge role in giving kids and families the stability to focus on education. This would eliminate many of the factors that may pull a student away from school.
Now this is great and all, but what can we do at a more local level and on a shorter timeline? It is not likely many of us have the power to greatly change the school system fundamentally. So what are some more realistic actions? I think the answer is found through community. Those who succeed in school most often have found community. I have this one friend of mine who I worry for occasionally. Now, I do not fear that he will drop out of school because I know he has good familial support and self-motivation, but he lacks community at school. It is hard for him to find interest in classes. He doesn't participate in clubs or extracurricular activities and generally doesn't apply himself very heavily in terms of academics and school activities. Students like my friend are the ones that feel like they don't belong to a community and that they lack support in school. Without community, students lose interest in school and feel as if there is nothing connecting them to the education that they are receiving.
In a strong community, students have access to a network of caring adults and peers that are there to support. Their support allows for students to focus their time and energy on studies instead of other stressors in their lives. This support can be economic stability, accessible resources, mentorship and tutoring, mental health services, service, and a variety of other forms that all contribute to a student's success. As individuals, we urge you to become an active member of your community at school. We wish for students to participate in clubs, sports, and school-sponsored events so that we can build up local communities. Becoming an active member of the community could be done even through simply just participating in class and creating meaningful interactions with your peers. In a strong community, students have access to a network of caring adults and peers that are there to support. Their support allows for students to focus their time and energy on studies instead of other stressors in their lives. This support can be economic stability, accessible resources, mentorship and tutoring, mental health services, service, and a variety of other forms that all contribute to a student's success. As individuals, we urge you to become an active member of your community at school. We wish for students to participate in clubs, sports, and school-sponsored events. The community could be done through even simply just participating in class and creating meaningful interactions with your peers. Every little action will eventually build up a school community that prioritizes learning and growth for each student.
Building a strong community is a collective effort that requires dedication, resources, and a common goal for the future. When communities form to support young adults, the benefits extend beyond education. Education is the great equalizer and a key to unlocking opportunities and breaking the cycle of poverty and inequality. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that every child has access to a quality education and the support they need to succeed, even past high school. Through spending that extra time and energy, we can build up the strong communities that students need to thrive. Together, we can turn the tide on high school dropout crisis and pave the way for a brighter future for all. Thank you.